Everybody. Okay, so today's topic, oh, well, it exited me out of my thing. It's right here. Hold on, let me get back to it. Okay, it's called a fight for focus, but it actually, like the devotional itself, is called Courageous Peace. And so hopefully this helps someone. I feel like a lot of us tend to have a hard time finding peace in certain areas in our life, especially in the midst of chaos. And I think when it's chaotic, that we always feel like God's attacking us, and we always seem to blame others, or we can blame ourselves. We tend to blame like outside resources, whatever it might be. And so in the midst of chaos, you have to really focus on finding peace. And sometimes it's really hard, but when you find that peace, like you overcome the biggest obstacle of it all, which is like obviously like the devil comes to steal, kill, destroy, all those good things. And so, and then I heard something yesterday and it really stuck with me. We were on like this like Diamond and Above like leader call, and they were saying like sometimes you get attacked and it's not the devil. We so often want to be like, oh my gosh, the devil's attacking us, and that's not necessarily always the thing. It's sometimes that God is literally giving us that problem so we can seek him and so he can get us through it. And like obviously for other reasons too, but that kind of like stuck with me because I was like, every time something wrong goes in my life, I'm like, not today, devil. And then I like had to look back. I was like, oh my gosh, like what if God is sending me this because I need to stop depending on myself? Like, and I just had like some self-realization, so hopefully this helps. But it says fight for focus, and it says a couple of years ago I had to stop over in Singapore and stay the night in a hotel next to the airport. Arriving at the room, I turned on the TV and the news was on. Despite the news being in a language other than English, curiously, oh my gosh, I thought I'd try to watch and attempt to understand what was happening. You can imagine this didn't go too well. I picked up the remote and there were subtitles. Upon pressing it, immediately the translation appeared at the bottom of the screen. While it was news, it wasn't news to me because I couldn't understand it. The subtitles revealed the message and the noise. I feel like you may be reading this right now and you're experiencing noise in your life. Jesus could be trying to send you a message in your noise today. Are we aware and are we ready to receive it? I love the passage we read in Luke 8 where the woman chose to focus on Jesus despite the chaos and the crowd around her, and Jesus met her within the chaos. In war-torn conflict, any armed force would know that by using a smoke grenade, they can take advantage of the enemy as it removes their focus. There are so many things demanding your attention daily. Choose to focus on Jesus and fight for the peace that he has given you already. Courageous peace requires you to fight for focus. And then it asks you these questions. It says, what are the distractions in life that can steal my focus off of Jesus's peace? Then number two question, it says easy to find. It's easy to be distracted in the morning, either from our phones or the demands of the day. Daily devotions are a simple but powerful way to focus on Jesus at the beginning of your day. Write down a simple morning routine so you can get your set up for the day. And I always tell you guys before you do anything at all, do not open your phone to a billion messages. And sometimes we use the excuse of, oh my gosh, but I got to get my work done before my kids get up. Well, who's actually providing that work in the first place? God is. Who's actually providing you that workspace? Who's actually providing you your kids with sleep? Like, you have to think of these things before you talk about that. And I had to think about this too, because last month I made the mistake about, I was just like, oh, I'll do my power hour because I want to be present and be on my power hours every day. And then after that, I'll just do my devotional, do all my things. And when I did that, you guys, I like sat there for like a week feeling burnt out. And I was like, why did I do this to myself? I knew better. I tell y'all to do this. And then I go out and do it myself. And so I have to learn from my own mistakes. But he's telling you, like, with the distractions in the world, find your courageous peace in that moment. So maybe you're going through something in your life and you're like, I just genuinely don't understand. Me right now, I'm going through something and I'm just like, God, what in the world is actually going on? Like, what are you doing in my life? Because right now I'm feeling just like all over the place. I feel chaotic in my mind. And something in here that says, where is it at? Um, where is it? Oh, it says Jesus could be trying to send you a message in your noise today. Are we aware and are we ready to receive it? So this is something that I've caught myself doing, and maybe you've caught yourself doing this, or now that you'll relate when I say it. But I've caught myself praying over something specifically, or praying for a certain situation, or praying for an outcome. And then when I receive it, it's not in the way that I expect it. And so I block it. And so I have been very, very intentional this past week with just praying over my situation, praying over just my life, and like asking God to like send me signs, and asking God to just give me like peace and like over whatever is going on. And I read that this morning and I was like, what if he's already tried to send me something, but I literally am so focused on how it looks that I've blocked it. And so now I'm like, well, God wouldn't just be like, no, I tried once, I'm not going to do it again. He would never do that. So now I'm going to be intentional with the things that are coming into my life and say, okay, God, can you provide me peace through the situation? And maybe some of you are like, I can't really relate to this. My life is doing so great right now. And if that's you, that's awesome. If that's you, I always share, give peace, or give something to someone else that you already have, just because like when someone's falling, or when someone's weak, or when someone's going through something, the best thing that you can do is give them encouragement to get them on the right path. So maybe you're so great, like life is great, you're happy, you're joyful, your business is going great, your relationship's going great, whatever it might be, then go out and give encouragement to someone else, because I promise you that someone needs it. And maybe you can just pray over it and say, God, who do I need to speak to today? Who do I need to give encouragement to today? Anytime that I pick a specific day to just go and send encouragement messages out, and I choose a select few of people, it's always someone who needs it. And I can tell you from experience that on the days that are the hardest, and when someone messages me a message unexpectedly, and it's just like, hey, didn't know what you needed, but just want to know I prayed for you, or I love you so much, or you're just amazing, and gives you a compliment, it makes you feel good. And so if you're experiencing this overwhelming peace, I've been in that place right now. I'm not in an overwhelming peace. I'm in like an overwhelming state of like chaos. And so I would be the one that needs to receive some peace. And so it's just something that would be really helpful. And I think so many times that we just try to depend on so many things on the outside, like um, affirmation, confirmation from other people. We try to look towards other things to get confirmation from God and like peace, and it's just not there. I told y'all yesterday and the day before, I started my war room. So I opened up my closet and like started writing down my prayer requests and stuff, and I am so freaking excited for it. Okay, I keep like writing things down. I'm just so excited to see what comes from that. But it's like when you walk into the room, because it's so silent, it's just like a little baby closet, but it's a walk-in closet, so it's enough for you to like sit down and stuff. It's like an overwhelming peace. That's what you want to feel when God's present in your life. Okay, and so I think that maybe sometimes if you're like, if this is going wrong in my life, this is going wrong in my life, this is the blah 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 blah, you're just not depending on him to get you through that. And when you overcome the overwhelm, oh my gosh, when you have the overwhelming peace in your life, you'll know it. And then you'll always want to receive that again when you're going through a tough spot, or maybe you're going through a good spot, but you just still want to feel that overwhelming peace. And something I was going to read from this Winning the War in Your Mind, let me see if I can try and find it. It was talking about ruts, and then it was talking about trenches in your life, and it was saying that trenches are actually man-made, ruts, or no, trenches are intentional, ruts are not. And so if you keep telling yourself you're in a rut, you're in a rut, you're in a rut, where is it at? I feel like it's coming up like right here it is. Okay, so Craig Rochelle says in here, it says, to make sure we understand what we're talking about, let's spell out the differences between our similar words. So you hear people talk about they're in a rut all the time. Okay, you're like, oh, I'm in a rut, I'm in a rut. You never hear people say I'm in a trench. Okay, and so a rut is typically formed in mud and becomes a nuisance, even a danger. A rut is an unintentionally created, has no purpose, and requires repair. A trench is intentionally dug to deliver a necessary resource. A trench has a specific purpose and fixes an existing problem. So something I want you to know is the next time that you're going through something, ask yourself, is it a trench or is it a rut? A trench is going to be something that God's going to pull you out of. He's putting up armor for you. He's like, I got you. I'm going to help you through this. A rut is something that you probably created on your own, and you need God to still pull you out, but you have to know it's not made from him. It's probably made from your own problems. And so maybe you feel like you are getting hit with so many different things left and right. The first thing that I want you to evaluate is what do you think caused it? Like, what do you think caused not having this peace anymore? Is it because you keep going back to the same relationship that you had that you know that's not good for you? Is it because that you keep going back to the same negative thought patterns because because you keep following these same people on social media? Is it because of, I don't know, you let negative people constantly fill your circle? You don't let positive people fill in your circle. What is it? Ask yourself what it is, and then ask God to overwhelm you with his peace and ask God to help you out of it. And then something else that I listened to yesterday, it was what's her name? What's her name? She's so freaking amazing. She's the one that was the actress in War Room. She's a Priscilla Shire. She was talking about, like, when you're asking for specific signs for God, in order for it to be like truly from God, because sometimes we get the voices mixed up in life. I know that I'm all over the place, but I keep thinking of the things that I learned yesterday, so forgive me. But she was talking about sometimes we get confused with the voice of God, and sometimes you can hear something and be like, oh my gosh, God, is that you? Or you question it. And sometimes when you see things pop up over and over and over again, it's not a coincidence, it's God. So ask God to give you a specific sign, and then ask him to give you a specific sign again on a certain situation, and ask him again. If you feel that doubtful, ask him again, and I promise you that situation, that thing that you're praying for, that answer is going to pop up over and over and over again, and it's not a coincidence. It's God trying to get your attention. Whereas if it was like someone that you weren't supposed to listen to, maybe you would hear it once and then you would never hear it again. Or God would be like, oh, you don't need to be doing that. Or like you think that you hear something and it's like, okay, what should I do in this certain situation? And then you hear it or you see it somewhere, but then it's not confirmed through something else. Maybe that's not God. Maybe that was just a voice in your head, like a negative voice in your head saying, kind of feeding you lies. Okay. And so I can relate this to literally so many things in my life. It's not even funny. But I just want you to know that, like, it's okay at whatever spot you're in your life right now. God can still give you that overwhelming peace no matter what hard place or good place that you're in. Ask for his peace. And then also, if you're someone who has that peace already, who you feel like you're in a good spot, please, please, please give it to someone. Help someone receive that. Help someone give someone the word. Because I know for me, like I said, I just, it makes me so happy when I hear people, or when I have people send me an encouraging message right when I need it, you know? And that always shows me that it's like kind of a sign from God too. Like, God, you're on my side. You wanted to help me. I love you. So again, I know this is all over the place. I'm still getting back into the groove of things. My headspace has not been like the best over this past week. So I'm still kind of like working through it, but I'm being very intentional about what I read. And if y'all have never listened to Priscilla Shire on YouTube, she's really amazing. If y'all need like a sermon, if y'all need just like a pick me up, she's really good. And then I've been listening to Michael Todd. I bet you it'll pop up on YouTube. I forgot what he's always doing series, and I forget what this one's called. um I think it's the one that's called God Wants to Use You. And then it's a series, and you can just type that in with Michael Todd. And it's just, he's literally done so many. It's just amazing. Okay. So if you need help with that, let me know. But there are so many tools out there. Do not sit here and make excuses that you don't know God or that you don't have the tools to know God. You do. You have the Bible, you have devotionals, you have the prayer chat, you have this, you have so many different things. Just stop avoiding God. Stop being like, God, I got this. I got this. I got this. That's where the peace does not flow. Okay. The peace flows when you let God handle your situation. So whatever you're going through, just know that God's got you. So anyways, if y'all want to go ahead and drop your prayer request below, let me stop.